wanted to ask was, are you happy about your career progression right now? And I wanted to ask that just to provide a little context to that question is, there's a lot of demand for industry professionals who have experience right now. It's almost like, you could pretty much get a job very quickly if you have some experience in clinical research. So do you feel like you're happy with the way your career's progressed so far?
Yes, I'm 100% happy with it. I think that I was very lucky because I have been able to get so much different experience in a short period of time, which not everyone is lucky enough to get. It's not that I haven't worked hard for it, but I think that I'm very fortunate because there are people who are looking out there to start a career and they have difficulty doing so. As a CRA right now, I definitely want to continue being a CRA for a while, really solidify my knowledge in terms of what monitoring is, and then I'll see where life takes me in terms of career.
Okay. All right. I remember my question now. All right. You said the key word, work from home as a CRA. Now, a lot of people that I know that I'm friends with that are CRAs tell me that they love, being 100% remote. They only go on site and then pretty much the other time they're like in their home office or traveling or something like that. They love not going into the office because of the amount of freedom that it provides. No one's really looking over their shoulder. They don't really have anywhere to be. If they don't have any visits that week, they can wake up when they want to, just make sure they're doing their stuff. But you go into the office. So how is that for you?
So I can work remotely when I want to, but I choose to at least go in as often as possible. So, on Fridays, sometimes I'll work from home. Tomorrow, I don't have too much that requires me to be in the office, so I'll work from home. But most of the time I like going into the office because I get that connection with my team. I get to see people that work as clinical project managers. I get to see the principal scientists. I get to work with R&D, and all of that for me, as a young professional, I think it's a great opportunity to learn from everyone. Later on in my career, I may decide that working from home is what I want to do full time, and I don't want to have to go into an office. But I think that when you're learning and you still have so much to gain from those who are more experienced than you want to be able to be in office and connect with those people, learn from those people.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. I've talked a lot about on this channel the networking in the office and how powerful that can be. Just like networking in the coffee room or in the cafeteria, and like the how many people you can meet and how many opportunities that can open up. Just saying hello to somebody that you see in there. So that's a good point about how much you can learn and how much you can gain from being in the office, even though you may not necessarily have to be.
Yep.
Okay. So you've been in clinical research, you've had a few positions. What would you say are the best positions for people to get into the field?
I think the easiest ones from what I've seen, like job description wise, because once I started, I never really looked back at the entry level positions. I wanted to continue growing, but I've helped quite a few friends look for positions, and it seems like the clinical trial associate positions on the sponsor level or the CRO level are a great place to start. I've seen a lot of those CTA roles turn into CRA roles if people are transparent about it during the interview process. I'm applying for the CTA position because I want to be a CRA. Clinical research coordinator positions are also something that you should definitely look at, because a lot of places will just take you as long as you have some type of healthcare experience or some experience with patients or subjects, depending on where you've worked or interned. In addition, I think that if you have a lot of trouble, like if, for example, you're looking for work while you're still in school, I think that you should look for research assistant positions in psychology labs. Maybe the medical school is looking for a research assistant if you have a medical school in your school. And that would really help because you're also working on studies, whether it's, different than pharma and device studies, that's fine, but you're still getting the experience of what it's like to be a part of clinical research, essentially.
Right. Okay, good point. Now you mentioned clinical trial associate. Now a lot of companies call that different things, but it's probably like the same thing, like as clinical trial assistant.
Hmm.
Um, so for anyone that's listening, you got to keep that in mind that a lot of these positions are really the same thing, but they call them different things depending if at the company and if you're at the CRO or the sponsor.
Right.
But yeah, definitely agree. Study coordinator, the CTA role. Uh, you mentioned the medical assistant and things like that. All good roles to get your foot in the door. The key thing there is just to get your foot in the door, and then
Right.
everything else should take care of itself once you get some experience.
Yeah, you have to take what you can get. I think that you don't want to be too picky in the beginning of the career. Obviously, you don't want to pick something that you know you're going to hate, but you want to keep yourself open to as much as possible, because you never know. I've seen CTA positions or clinical trial assistant positions turn into CRA positions within 6 months. I've seen some of them take 2 years. So, I mean, you really don't know where a position is going to take you unless you give it a try. And if you really are not feeling like career progression is an opportunity at the company where you start off, you can always move. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you shut yourself out from initial opportunities, eventually what will happen is that you're kind of pigeonholing yourself accidentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you never really know where it's going to take you. And I remember, I think a lot of my friends that are CRAs now got into the industry like 2014, 2015. And I remember the companies were just kicking them out the door to become CRAs. Like they were just like begging them to like become CRAs immediately.
Right.
So, it doesn't take much experience if the market's right. And I know last year, I think 2017 was a pretty slow year to the
Yeah.
industry. You agree with that?
Yeah. I have a lot of friends whose younger siblings, I guess, now are graduating from college, and a lot of them wanted to get into clinical research. So I got a lot of resumes from people saying, can you look at this for me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble. And sometimes I was just like, let me just see what's out there. And it seemed like really what was out there was mid-level positions, not really entry-level positions.
Right.
And even the entry-level position said like you need 3 years of experience. And
Right.
we all know that we all roll our eyes when we see something like that.
Right.
But that was the state of, the job market at that time.
Right. And
Hopefully
so,
2018 is better.
yeah, I mean, I think the big reason for that was because of all the mergers. You had LabCorp by Covance and Chiltern.
Yes.
You had Parexel getting bought by Pamplona Capital, and you had the big merger between INC Research and Inventive Health becoming Syneos. So that really stagnated the market, and all those happened
Right.
like throughout the year. So
Right.
I think hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers, we don't have anything like that this year. So
Right.
hopefully a lot more positions will open up, and I've seen it already. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, one of the indicators I look for is like if there's contract project management positions.
Hmm.
When I see people posting that, I know the industry is in a good place because I didn't see any
Right.
of that. I didn't see any of that last year.
And that's a good point. Adding on to what you should take if you're looking to start off your career, don't be afraid to take contract positions. I think that that's so important. My CRC position was contracted to hire,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I'm so thankful that I just went for it. If you work hard, I don't think I've seen anyone not get a full-time opportunity if it was temp to hire.
Right.
If it's just temp, then you have to be comfortable with finding something before the end of your contract. But even then, sometimes those temp positions just get extended and extended and extended. And if you're looking to start off your career, honestly, it may not be a bad idea to do it 6 months, and then you have that 6 month experience to look for a full-time with benefit job.
Right.
2 month contracts, 3 month contracts, I think are a little bit risky if you're a fresh graduate, but 6 months I think is fine. You'll find something as you get that first 3 months of experience.
Right. I got my start in the industry on a 3-month contract. So if I
So
can
that
do it,
was a good
anybody can
risk,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah. But I guess in theory it was a big risk. But I can say that the market completely opened up as soon as I had that experience on my resume. Like
Yeah.
it was a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
Way more callbacks from companies and way more interviews, like significantly more. So
Right. And the thing is, like, a lot of companies now, they have those filters for resumes. So if they don't see like research or clinical trial on the resume, the automated systems that they have to filter out resumes may kick you out even before they even, like, it gets to the desk that's going to look at your resume. So having anything is better than having nothing.